Thank you for having us and allowing us to present today. I just wanted to give a little bit of background about Sinnissippi Audubon, and then I'm going to introduce Jackie. The Sinnissippi chapter is part of the National Audubon Society and was founded in the 1970s. It's committed to wildlife preservation in the Rockford region. And through science, advocacy, education, and on-the-ground conservation, we work to inform, inspire, and unite diverse communities in conservation action. A couple of the things that we've been working on the past year, just to highlight some of our work. Just last year, we had Colored Sands Forest Preserve designated as an important bird area. It's the first one in Winnebago County, so we're so proud to have this property here to highlight birds in our area. And also located on this preserve is Sand Bluff Bird Observatory, which is a bird banding station here in Northern Illinois that some of you might be familiar with. And we're also going to be working with them to install a Modus tower soon. We've also done some work with the Audubon Mural Project in Rockford. This originated in New York City, and I've been collaborating with Avi Gittler, who's the curator of that project in New York City. We currently have 4 murals in Rockford. The Baltimore Oriole is one of my favorite, but I really enjoyed on the right that the project we did with the Lincoln Middle School students. It was so much fun to work with these kids, share the birds and climate change report with them, work on selecting a bird for their mural, and they did such a beautiful job. It was just a fun project to work on. The Nest cameras. So this is why Jackie is presenting today. A couple years ago, actually in 2018, we noticed that there was a pair of Peregrine Falcons downtown, and they were using this Rockford Register Star building to land on and do a lot of things. So we decided we would contact the building, and Mary Hennon from the Chicago Peregrine program was actually presenting for our annual program that year. So we both got into the building the day she was here, and we're looking for eggs and kind of checking out the location. At the time, there were no eggs, but I asked if we could install cameras. We had 1 camera installed that first year, and then just last year we added this additional second camera. And this view you're looking at is the west view. And as a result of these Peregrine Falcons being down there in this building, literally you walk out the front door and you are on East State Street in Rockford, which is a busy street in our community. So we have organized Fledge Watch to help protect these birds when they fledge. So well, I shouldn't say only one bird has come down into the street that we had to run back up to the building. There were a couple that have hit the side of the building and come down, but they managed to get back up. We did like one time have to take, it was the very first year we had a hatch, and it was a singleton, and we did take High Tower up to the building and re-release him. So Jackie is my daughter. I'm so proud of the work that she's done with this initiative, as well as she has been I would say my partner in crime since she was a little girl, going out and volunteering with me. And she's been an Illinois Young Birder since 2013. She's presented at their Young Birder Symposium twice, once in 2016, once in 2017. She became a youth board member for Sinnissippi Audubon in 2019, and it was kind of funny how this started. I was thanking all of the board members as the president at the time for their work at our annual meeting, and when I got back to the table, she kind of kicked me underneath the table and said she does a lot of work too, and she should be a board member. So I nominated her for a board member, and she was unanimously voted onto our board. Before that, she received the Youth Conservationist of the Year award. She has done a lot of bluebird monitoring with me. She's participated in the annual Midwest Spring Count for the past 6 years. And now, of course, she's the city bird advocate.
My name is Jackie Kuroda, and I'm here to talk about official city bird advocacy. The first thing I did when advocating for our city bird was send a letter to our mayor, and it was mailed on July 1st, 2019. Some highlights of the letter included the conservation success story of peregrines in the state of Illinois. The peregrine falcon represents recovery, resilience, and adaptability, and how the a city bird has the ability to bring awareness to city birds and to birds and their conservation needs. This is the letter I sent to the mayor. And the next thing I did was start a petition for having the peregrines be the city bird of Illinois, or city bird of Rockford. And when advocating for a city bird, it is important to follow up. The mayor is busy and has a lot of things on their plate, so we had to send him multiple emails and phone calls when advocating. And after an internal city investigation, Mayor McNamara agreed to proclaim the Peregrine Falcon as the official city bird. We also got our city officials involved. We invited the mayor to the banding day, but unfortunately he was unable to attend, so our chief of staff, Wester Worry, attended on behalf of the mayor, and he said it was one of the highlights of his career as chief of staff. We had our announcement and press release on July 17th, 2020. We had 50 attendees, which was limited due to COVID, and some media coverage of this event would include WNIJ, Rockford Register Star, and some local news stations. So this was my presentation before the mayor announced the city bird, and it was to provide education on the peregrines and why they would be a good city bird. And we're going to play this video, but it was recorded live at the event, and there are some glitches in it.
I'm here to talk about peregrine falcons. Some quick facts on our peregrine falcons. They are the fastest animal on the planet. They reach speeds of upwards to 230 miles per hour. They are aerial hunters. They'll stun their prey in the air. They have adapted to urban living by nesting on buildings that imitate cliffs. The word peregrine comes from the Latin word peregrinus, which means to wander. They do not build nests. They'll use a scrape, which is a shallow depression in the ground or gravel. They are found on all continents except Antarctica. Historically, there are 350 to 400 pairs in the Midwest. By the 1960s, they were almost extinct. The decline was caused by a pesticide called DDT, which inhibits calcium production in female peregrines, which thin their eggshells and cause them to break easier. The last recorded breeding pair in Illinois before their disappearance was 1951. The Peregrine Fund, based at Cornell University, developed a program of reintroduction where they did captive breeding and released peregrines. The first two releases in the Midwest involved Cornell birds. After that, all birds in the Midwest came from falconers. The Chicago Peregrine Program began in 1985, and it involved these four organizations: the Chicago Academy of Science, the Lincoln Park Zoo, the Illinois Department of Conservation, and the Illinois Audubon Society from the Illinois Threatened and Endangered Species. Some of the Illinois successful peregrine locations. The Rockford nest site is located on top of the Rockford Register News Tower. It's the first established location in Rockford to have peregrine falcons. Their nest is located in a drainage channel, and it's been a successful nest location since they arrived in 2018. Peregrines exhibit a strong nest fidelity. They are faithful to their nest site and will return they'll return year after year. The Rockford peregrine falcons are Little Fool, the male, who came from Wisconsin and was hatched in 2015, and Louise, the female, who came from Toronto, Canada, and hatched in 2016. Breeding season begins in March. Courtships include bowing, aerial displays by the male, and the male bringing female food. These are both of our falcons bowing in that picture. A clutch will range from 3 to 4 eggs. Typically, one egg is laid every 24 to 48 hours. They'll delay incubation until all eggs are laid. and incubation will last 30 to 32 days. Our first chick hatched on top of the news tower was in 2018, and it was Hightower. He hatched May 20th, he was banded June 13th, and fled June 29th. In 2019, Peaches, Sweeney, and Freddie were hatched. They hatched on June 10th, 12th, and 14th, and were banded on July 6th and fled July 28th, 24th, and 28th. This year's falcons were Rocky, Forrest, and Harriet. They hatched on May 21st and 23rd, and were banded on June 16th and fled July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is their development stages from hatched. They're banded around this age, and then this is the age they hatched. Banding age is 21 to 24 days old. The banders will wear helmets and protect themselves with a broom with their bristles facing outward as they grab the chicks. They are banded with two bands, a U.S. Fish and Wildlife band and a colored band. They'll draw the peregrine's blood to look at their genetics and check for avian parasites. Where will they go? Young peregrine falcons will spend 2 to 3 weeks learning how to hunt, and they stay in the Rockford area until early fall. They move separately from buildings to roost and cache food. Louise overwinters in the Rockford area and Little Pool migrates. Why should they be Rockford's official city bird? They are a conservation success story. They represent resilience, recovery, resilience, and adaptability. They bring awareness to birds and their conservation needs, and the community loves them, and people from all over the United States will watch the camera each year. Thank you. I'm here to talk about
This is a video of the mayor's announcement of the city bird.
It is exciting though when you think about the Peregrine Falcon and you see that it has brought such joy to so many different people in our community, from different walks of life, from the avid birders to the young students in the classroom. It has really brought such joy to so many, and I want to give a special thank you to Jennifer as the president of the Sinnissippi Audubon Society. Yes. Appreciate your leadership and the society for their support and of the incredible natural resources that our community has to offer to the city, and especially with the falcons. I would also say you have a tremendous advocate in both Jennifer and Jackie because they have been advocating for a city bird, I think, since I became mayor. Since last year. Their advocacy has been, I would say it would be well noted even in Springfield. It would be well noted, your aggressive advocacy, and it is deeply appreciated. And it's really exciting to be here with both of you today. Jackie, your bio is awesome. Youth Conservationist of the Year, that's phenomenal. Your involvement and your passion of birding, especially as a young adult, is just really inspiring. So I just want to say thank you. And on top of that, you were the one who designed the brochure for now the City of Rockford Bird, which we will be getting to. And I want to say a special thank you to Red Hill Birding and the Chicago Peregrine program for their important work with our falcons. So it is right now, Jackie, if you could come forward and provide this to you. Whereas rich natural resources of Rockford, Illinois support more than 300 bird species, but only one breeding pair of peregrine falcons can be found. And whereas, once the Illinois Endangered and Threatened Species list, peregrine falcons are a conservation success story in our state. And whereas, peregrine falcons are a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and recovery by establishing a nest site in Rockford, Illinois, at the Rockford Register Star News Tower. And whereas, female peregrine Louise has successfully hatched and fledged 7 young peregrine falcons on the ledge of our news tower. And whereas evidence of nest fidelity is very high, as demonstrated by the use of the nest site since 2018, this ensures longevity of this species in Rockford. And whereas the community can watch the development of the Rockford peregrine falcons from the hatch to fledge via a nest camera provided by Sinnissippi Audubon. Now therefore, I, Thomas P. McNamara, as the mayor of the city of Rockford, do hereby proclaim Peregrine Falcon the official city bird of the city of Rockford. Thank you. It is exciting.
So this is a brochure I made on the peregrine falcons. It includes pictures of peregrine falcons by John Long Henry and some of from the nest cam and some peregrine facts. And then it includes our nesting pair and some facts about the proclamation. So my involvement with the peregrines includes assisting with the nest cam installation, which was first installed in April 2018, assisting with monitoring the videos of the peregrine falcons. I've attended the bandings and I've participated in Fledge Watch. So some of our ongoing community engagement will include the accessible viewing of the nest cam, the hosting of the live banding for education, hosting events like we hosted a Zoom event in July 2020, and I presented about peregrine falcons and the importance of bird conservation. It had 100 attendees and was shared via Facebook Live. We plan on having additional in-person presentations when COVID-19 restrictions are gone. And we plan on distributing our brochure to the library and City Hall and other places that will take it. This is a video of the banding. This is Harriet's banding. She was part of 2020's Clutch.
They're unique to the individual. So you were able to learn things about longevity and dispersal. That's how we know how old Louise is and where she came from. Again, it's through reading those bands. In birds of prey, girls are bigger than boys. So we're judging the sex by the size of the leg. If it's larger, you put the female band on. The smaller one, male, if there's any doubt, you always go with the female band, because at this age, really, though, they're as big as they're going to get, so we don't have to worry that the leg is going to outgrow the band. But they don't have the flight feathers yet, so they weren't able to prematurely fledge on us. So Josh is going to grab the first one out. Grab me the girl. Yeah. And the towel over their head is just sort of a little bit to help keep her a little calmer while this is going on. You want to rearrange your hands? She's nice and warm.
And nice and quiet.
Quietness can stop anytime. So this auxiliary marker I'm putting on is just one that's a little easier to read through your cameras and your spotting scope. We have some wonderful photographers that track these birds, John and Pam and Chris and a lot of people, and this band is easier to read. The Fish and Wildlife Service band has numbers that go all the way around, and it's, again, just a little more difficult. So this first one is a girl. They're unique to
the recovery of the peregrine falcon is one of the Endangered Species Act's most dramatic success stories, and we must ensure the ongoing conservation of all bird species, including the peregrine falcons, through efforts like protecting the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, restoring habitat, planting native plants in your backyard, stopping the use of pesticides, saving energy and cutting on carbon emissions, reducing, reusing, and recycling, and keeping your cat or cats inside. Any comments or questions?
That was wonderful, Jackie. Thank you so much. While people are having a chance to put in some more questions, I just want to read a few comments that came in on the chat while you were doing your presentation. We heard highlight of his career. Congrats, Jackie. Somebody wrote, I foresee a great career in ornithology for Jackie. It was just fantastic. But we did have some questions that came in, and you're able to see them on the stage chat. But while you're getting there, I will put a few out there. I'm interested in this question too from Evan. Did you encounter any adversaries? When you were doing the advocacy for the Peregrine Falcon, were there folks who were against it?
I can't think of anybody who was against it. So no.
Excellent. Another question that came in, what do the Rockford Peregrine Falcons eat?
A lot of like just birds.
So pretty typical for Peregrine Falcons then. And do you know if the young come back to Rockford?
None of them have come back so far. They generally won't because it's more their parents' territory, and there's not that many other nesting sites they could use in Rockford than the news tower.
Got it. We have some more comments coming in. Great job, Jackie. Very interesting information over on the event chat. Jody's writing, truly outstanding, exclamation point. Daniel writes, this was a marvelous talk. Down here in Normal, Illinois, we have occasionally had a peregrine falcon stop and hunt at Watterson Tower on the Illinois State University campus, but never any breeding pairs, unfortunately. Do we have any other questions for Jackie? Doesn't look like it. Jackie, thank you so much for being here and presenting this information with us today at Wild Things. It was so impressive what you were able to accomplish to bring your community together in Rockford around peregrine falcons. My hat's off to you. Just an amazing job, talking to us today and also just making this happen. Just so impressive. You should be incredibly proud. Oh, look, so we have one more question coming in. Is the news tower the tallest building in Rockford? Is that why other pairs don't nest in the area? Not enough tall buildings.
Well, I can help her answer that question.
Okay, Jennifer.
We have another taller building. It's actually called Camelot Towers. Unfortunately, it's actually where I work at Swedish American Hospital, and it's actually on the tallest hill in the city. So they do use the building, and I do have my colleagues all the time are sending me pictures when they're over there on the building, but they're like pillars, so they're not viable for a nest location really. And on the top of that building is mostly antennas, and it's just not a good location on the top of that building.
That makes sense. Again, I've seen so many great comments coming in, people saying great job, great presentation. So thank you so much for being here on this third day of Wild Things. You were absolutely inspiring. In fact, Matt Milkowski, a teacher here in Chicago, writes, well done. As I'm currently reading H is for Hawk, this presentation was particularly inspiring and timely. Thank you for taking action to honor these animals and raise community awareness. So thank you so much for being here.